Oh my God, we're back again. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy last day of January, first month of the year. Let me know if you're also ready for January to be over. So much has happened, some good headlines, some bad headlines. We're going to get into the lighthearted ones today, all the trending topics that have gone down. But hope everyone had a great week. And thank you so much for topping it off with me. So, again, happy Friday. And let me know you're here in the chat. Say hello. And we're going to jump right in and get started. Okay. Pop Chat Friday. Okay, so yes, everyone, welcome. If this is your first time here at Pop Chat, I want to tell you a little bit about me and just a little bit about the chat, and then we're going to get into all the trending topics. So first up, just want to reiterate who I am. Again, my name is Brienne Fleming. I am a marketer, a fangirl, and an academic at heart. I teach branding and social media at the University of Florida. I see some of my past students here. Hey, Brandon. Dakota's here. Gibson, yay, you made it. Hey, Lathan. Diehard Backstreet Boys fan. Love to talk about pop culture here on Pop Chat, on my podcast, all the places. I recently became a mom last year, so time is a little bit more limited, but so happy to be here. And I reside in Jupiter, Florida with my husband, Sandy here. Ooh, this is the way to Pop Chat. Hey, Danny, crushing a slice of pizza. Yeah, thank you for joining me on your lunch break here. Amrapali's here. Hello. I have you on a slide in a few. Surprise, surprise. But yes, if you haven't yet, please tell us who you are, where you're joining from, and what you do so we could all get to know each other. Because unlike what the Backstreet Boys say, I do care who you are, where you're from, and what you do. So if you're unfamiliar with Pop Chat, this is what it is and how it goes down. It is a weekly series that goes on every Friday here at 1 p.m. where we talk about trending topics and the marketing lessons behind them. But it's so much more than a discussion. We've got all of our people here wearing some Pop Chat merch. We often do giveaways. I've had people tell me they've landed jobs thanks to connections they've made here at Pop Chat. So it's kind of like the marketing water cooler. Yes, everyone say hello to Amrapali from LA over on X. So this is how it works. First and foremost, be you. I always say there's no clear authority here. There are no wrong answers. I want you to share your perspectives on these topics, whether you're a marketing intern or a CMO. I think all of your perspectives are valuable. So share your thoughts, reply to others, connect, and have fun. It's as simple as that. We keep it pretty low key around here. So my icebreaker question for you, I would like to know, what is an album that sums up your childhood? And I ask this kind of selfishly because I just got a brand new vinyl. It was a surprise gift, one of those just because gifts from my brother. It's this one, Spice Girls. I've got to remove the Target sticker, but for me, the Spice Girls album. Side A, we have Wannabe, Say You'll Be There, Two Become One, Iconic, Who Do You Think You Are? It was just the best. Hey, Amy from Texas. Amy runs an agency specializing in rural micro businesses. I love my mom and pops too. That's awesome. Hey, Alyssa. So yeah, we're just on the icebreaker question now. Let us know, what is an album that sums up your childhood? I can't wait to open this up and to give it a spin. And I think it's like a clear vinyl. Crystal clear. I'm really excited about it. And this says, originally released November 4th, 1996, the debut studio album Spice features the smash hits Wannabe, To Become One, and is the best-selling album in music history by a girl group and one of the best-selling albums of all time. The best. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Lindsay. So random, but the Free Willy soundtrack. Okay, I like your style, Lindsay. The Space Jam soundtrack was a big part of my childhood. I love soundtracks. So if you want to go that route with this icebreaker, feel free. share your soundtracks that summed up your childhoods. Armor Polly, excellent taste. I have this on vinyl as well. It's in my cabinet over here, and you can't go wrong with that. Ooh, Amy, I like your style too. Enema of the State, The Young and the Hopeless by Good Charlotte was my late elementary school into middle school bop. Iconic. The Punisher soundtrack. Yeah. I don't know if you're talking about the Spice Girls, Gibson. I have to assume so. Or maybe they're talking about the Free Willy soundtrack, but Kevin's here. Kevin, I owe you a DM. I listened to Eric Clapton Unplugged way too much, kind of saddened that Clapton has gone weird. Oh no. I just remember like Tears in Heaven as part of my childhood, and I heard the story behind that and how it's about his son, and it really messed me up as a kid. Yay! Anything by Michael Jackson. Hey, Christian. Kyle's here. American Idiot was the first CD I ever bought. It has to be that. Great choice. Lots of Enema of the State fans. Awesome. Well, keep sharing, keep saying hello, but let's dive into a little bit of pop culture history and go back in time to January 31st, 1981. It's Justin Timberlake's birthday. He is 44 today. So if you see him around, as well as Kerry Washington, she's 48, make sure you say happy birthday. We're going to talk more about Justin Timberlake in a bit. As a Backstreet Boys fan, this does not go against my religion. I still like JT, so it's okay. Boys to Men 2. That's a lot of Roman numerals. Love this one. Good Charlotte. Yeah, I saw them live along with Jimmy Eat World, OK Go, and some other amazing groups. Where's Terry when you need him? Our favorite punk rock fan. Fun fact, any what's the name of that group? Newfound Glory. Any Newfound Glory fans, they are from my hometown. Anthony's here. Hi. That would be too good. Too good, Danny. All right. Kerry Washington is an icon. So hashtag holiday. Speaking of icons, you're going to wonder why Missy Elliott is relevant here in a second. But first up, it is National Fun at Work Day. So if you're at work, I'm so happy you're here with me. I hope you're having fun so far. Let me know if you're sitting like in an office right now. Invite your coworkers. You know, we'll just make it an extra fun day. Also, National Hot Chocolate Day. So if you need some Friday night plans, there you go. Armor Polly is off today. Nice. Nice long weekend. Let me know if you have weekend plans. In fact, that's our bonus question at the end. Okay, why is Missy Elliott here? It is also National Backward Day. And it's come to my attention that some people did not know that in her song Work It, that the lyric is backwards. She literally takes it and flips it. Some people didn't know that. There might be some people here sitting here that didn't know that. I think most people do, but when we think about turning things backwards, we have to give Missy Elliott a shout out. Okay, so also on this day in 1982, fun fact, the David Letterman show premiered, and his first guest was Bill Murray. So 1982, first guest was Bill Murray. And I want to talk about David Letterman for a second, because if anyone watches Hot Ones right now, the host of Hot Ones, Sean Evans, he credits David Letterman for kind of his career trajectory and becoming such a strong interviewer. He says one of his earliest memories was his father taping Letterman during the week and binge watching them all on a Saturday. It's kind of the old school way we had to binge was record everything on a VHS. Hey, Kyle, working from home, enjoying a non-alcoholic beer because that's allowed, right? Yes, especially on Fun at Work Day. Cheers. Dakota at work, aka my desk, my home office. I can just picture it all, Dakota, since you vlog and show us your life. We can just see Lucy now and all the plants. Missy Elliott and Step Up was such a great combo. So tell me who this is, LinkedIn user. I don't know why it does this. Sadly, I watched Step Up recently, and I forgot that it's in Baltimore, and there's that scene where they're dancing on the roof, and you can see that, I forgot the name of it, but the bridge in Baltimore that collapsed, it's like off in the background and is like a major scene in Step Up. Was Missy Elliott in Step Up or was it Honey? Maybe both. Maybe both. Did not know that Letterman's last guest was also Bill Murray. What a gem. We love a full circle moment. Will It Float was my favorite Letterman bit. Yeah. Danny, if you haven't read, no, that's Will It Blend. Contagious by Jonah Berger. He talks about this viral series called Will It Blend? Probably very similar to Will It Float. Has anyone watched My Next Guest with Letterman? I haven't watched all the episodes, but I really enjoyed it. I've watched a few. I watched one with Lizzo a while back. He's done a few though. I need to circle back. And as an interviewer and a podcaster myself, I need to take some notes. Also, any Wonder Years fans, it debuted on this day in 1988. So we're rewinding back to the 80s. Let's also rewind back like literally 2 hours ago, hot off the press today. I just threw this in here. Tom Brady, the GOAT, is launching a newsletter. So discuss. What do we think about this? I have here, I wanted to show you how he announced it differently on each social platform. I don't know if he's on LinkedIn. Someone look that up for me. But here he is on X. He says, all right, look, is there room for one more newsletter in the world? There's room for one more, right? And then on Threads, I feel like Threads followers are also newsletter followers. And then on Instagram, he made a joke about slipping in his grandma's biscuit recipe. I thought it was pretty creative. But he's launching this on Kit, formerly ConvertKit, which is what I use for my newsletter. So celebrities are just like us. And this is the sign-up page. It's called 199. Want to know what I really think about business, media, leadership, health, and football? I mean, Tom Brady, he's kind of an enigma, right? What do we think about this move? What do we think? I think it makes a lot of sense. He's retired now, and people have always wanted to peek inside his brain. Oh, Kim K on My Next Guest. I'll have to watch that. That's so funny. Matthew McConaughey launched a newsletter today or recently. Why don't celebrities send us more mail besides trying to sell us more vinyl records? Like, I want to know what they're up to. Lathan, Tom Brady's doing too many hobbies. He has some laser focus, starting his own portfolio career. Yeah, Kyle, maybe he needs some SEO help for 199. That's kind of a vague search term. He has to actually have people open it first. The biscuit recipe Easter egg might help. Yeah, so speaking of that, I subscribed, so you don't have to unless you want to. This was the welcome email. I thought it was well done. Super excited. Tells you what to expect: business, media, leadership, health, and obviously football. Gave a little glimpse and said that you'll start seeing some pictures from his camera roll. Nice little signature. So I think the first issue is going out today. So if you want to subscribe, go to tombrady.com. Brandon says, I like it. He was always pretty guarded as a player. So anytime we can get some insight from him is good. Yeah, I mean, he's doing the roast, or he did the roast. He's just, now that he's off the field, I feel like he's becoming more vulnerable and opening up. Being up here in New England, we know he's always been a businessman. He just has more time on his hands. Yeah, he's got a clothing line and all the things, right? Amy, I'm a great newsletter subscriber, but terrible at reading and engaging with them. Are we time blocking for this? How are we reading all the things? Yeah, that's a good question. I hope when my newsletter hits your inboxes that you're like kind of burnt out from the day, and then it's a nice welcome distraction. I don't want to call it a distraction. Maybe it is. But I hope it becomes like a little break in your inbox. And oh, speaking of finding time, subscribe to Alyssa's newsletter, which is all about being intentional with our time. So if you have any tips on this, Alyssa, it's kind of a meta thing, like a newsletter about making time for newsletters. I don't know. My friend Fake is here, my anonymous friend who I adore. Tuning in on my drive out to lunch. Yes. Yay. Brady is on LinkedIn. Huh. I didn't know that. And Jesse's here. Hi, Dad. All right, so let's get into some trending topics for the week. Let's talk about pop culture. One thing, like I said, speaking of Justin Timberlake. So SNL is celebrating their 50th anniversary. And maybe you saw this. There was a little documentary about it, and Justin Timberlake is featured in it. I haven't watched it yet, but he talks about pitching Beyonce on this iconic single lady skit. I want to say it's from 2008. Um, this is not on YouTube, but you can dig it up and find it. I actually rewatched it on Facebook of all places. Paul Rudd is in it. He plays like the director. I haven't seen it in a really long time. But one thing he was saying is that Beyonce was not on board at first. So it wasn't until he got in this full leotard with the tights and heels that she finally saw the vision. And now I think it's one of the best, most viral SNL skits of all time. Don't quote me. But she was skeptical and he convinced her. So aside from going up to your boss in full leotard, please don't ever do that. I would like to know, what's your best tip for winning over someone who doubts your idea? You might deal with this at work. We always have to convince people for buy-in on our ideas. So it doesn't have to be your best tip, but a tip, something you've tried, something you suggest, and I'll shut up for a second and let you think about this. But what's your best tip for convincing someone to go for your idea? We're getting some late icebreakers. I think my chat is a little delayed. LinkedIn. I just read Lion King as LinkedIn. I am way too online. Yes, Lion King soundtrack is awesome. Yeah, maybe my whole chat is delayed. Yeah, JT, the man, for sure. Danny is shouting it from the rooftops. Data, metrics and numbers. Okay, I like that. I like that approach. How do we do that if the campaign isn't live yet? Just kind of like researching stuff that's relevant to the idea, like any research about, why this would work, all those things. Dig that up. That's a good idea. If people won't believe you, they will believe the data. Lindsay says painting a picture for the why and the data to back it up. Yeah, you guys are on board. Big data fans, a story of how it has worked in the past. Yeah, that's smart. That is smart. Cover the bases your audience cares about, but also make some moves ahead of time. Ask for forgiveness instead of permission. I like this approach. Ask for forgiveness, especially if you're so confident. And I know Kyle talks about this a lot, is the importance of taking risks. And sometimes we need to take a few risks and ask for forgiveness later. Kim is here. Hi, stranger. I honestly just create a fancy deck on Canva. People like things that looked polished. Yeah, and they like when you seem well-researched and confident and do have the data and some of the things to back it up. Brandon's having a great day at work. Again, I think my chat is delayed. That's not just a non sequitur. Hello, LinkedIn user. Oh, Manisha, hi. Ask them for their reasons and understand the why, then approach it from there. Good thoughts. Good thoughts. Rachel, always wise. When you want to win someone over, start with how it will make their work easier, more fun, or more dynamic. Center it on the person you need to win, not the whole game. Boom. Where are my sound effects? Hold on. Hold on. Oh, wait, I have the volume muted. That'll do it. Very, very smart. Oh, work from home Fridays. We love that, Chris. I hope the new job is going well. Jesse says, listen to their issues with the idea. Maybe there's a misunderstanding. Ooh, so maybe we need like a follow-up. Like if you pitch it, they don't like it. Do you then regroup a little bit? Maybe there's a misunderstanding that we're dealing with. If you really believe in the idea, stick to your guns. Be willing to hear the opposing issues. Maybe having notes from the other side will help make your idea better. Smart. When you're forging new territory, don't and don't have data, use the information about why you think it'll work. Show your understanding of your audience and how the idea connects with them. Yeah, I like this, like a more sociological approach. With me, I like, if people aren't going to believe me, I try to call for backup and take it from other people why we think it'll work, or find, try to like humanize the idea a little more. Better to ask for forgiveness and permission. Acknowledge their concern and ask them open questions about it. Can you tell me more about this? Many times it's cleared up with some simple communication of goals, evidence, and etc. Yeah. Keep marketing the idea in different ways and get peers to help you convince the doubters. Yeah, I call for backup. Social proof, if you will. These are some great answers. Paint the picture of the value of experimentation. Yeah. And I think the value of risk too. It's like, it's so hard to get brands to see the importance of risk, but risk gets attention. Safe risks though, well thought out risks. Safe is so boring. The first impression is everything. If you're just like everyone else, you'll get lost in the noise. Yeah, that's what happens when brands play it safe. Hey, Benjamin, ask what their hesitations for an idea are and then try to clear them up. Yay. I have applause too, but I feel like Sparkle is just so much better. We've got a reference here. Hey, Kevin, an episode of Auto Be Good where Miles suggested an idea that was ignored. Johnny then suggested the same idea, but with enthusiasm, and people loved it. Okay, that sounds hilarious. I've never seen that show, so please drop the link. Walk into the room with the people who already like the idea and have them ready to speak with a supportive point. Yeah, or at least have like screenshots of like the sentiment behind it about why it would work. I also have learned that if you have too many people brainstorming an idea, it gets like so diluted and it kind of loses its magic. So it can be kind of a double-edged sword. Pitch with confidence and serve chocolate chip cookies. Instant win. Jason, wait, I think you get sparkles for that. Great idea. Cookies always help. Why didn't that work? There we go. Great idea. All right. So many good things here. I'm going to move on, but if you have additional thoughts, please share. All right. Speaking of press and hot off the press, Caroline Leavitt, the new White House press secretary, announced that the White House is inviting content creators into the press room. This includes podcasters, again, any kind of content, not any kind of content creator, but a relevant, maybe political content creator, podcasters, social media influencers. And the way this works is you apply for a press credential at whitehouse.gov/new media. Jason's on YouTube. Maybe that was one of the anonymous LinkedIn users. One thing to know about Caroline Leavitt, if you didn't watch this, is she's 27 years old. I was a bubbling idiot at 27 years old. I would just crumble in this situation. But she was talking about how, especially young people, how they get their news is changing. And in an effort to seem more transparent and to kind of adapt with the times, it's showing how they want to show a way that young people can, or be where the younger people are. So what does the White House's embrace of content creators say about the state of journalism? What do we think? What do we think about this? It's a no from me. Yeah, I don't know. If it's a no, my question is, if it's a no for you, does that mean you don't trust content creators online that are talking about politics in general? Because if you do turn to a political influencer for your news, wouldn't you want that person also in the room getting the information directly and then also making content? I think if people are already out there making this content and reporting the news, essentially, you might as well put them in the room to ask questions and make their content more detailed. She'll be fired when she turns 20. Would use the Michael Scott no gif. I see the difference. In my opinion, it dilutes the idea of true journalism. We are losing adversarial and investigative journalism in favor of glazing, which is not how we hold people in power in check. I agree that people get their news from non-legacy sources. There is still a level of ethics and integrity that creators are not held to versus traditional journalists. Thank you for bringing this up, Dakota, because that brings me to my next question, kind of a similar thought. What's the difference between journalism and content creation? Apparently our trust in legacy media is at an all-time low, and a lot of people are going to creators for information. But you're right, they're not necessarily, they don't maybe have the same training as a traditional journalist, or the same um, standards and fact checking and all these things. I think maybe having a podcaster in the room gives them a chance to fact check or to challenge and get direct answers that they were really looking for, and they can still put their own spin on it. So to be fair, I don't consume a lot of political content in general, me neither. Being in the room, but are they only going to select creators that paint them in a positive light? That's the real problem for me. We shall see. We shall see. I think they're going to be there to press them, but yeah, they're vetting them. We'll see who gets in the room. Ooh, yes. Allow it, and again, take it upon ourselves to choose who to listen to. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, at some point, the onus is on us to also do some fact checking of our own, and to hear kind of the full scope of the conversation, to hear from several media outlets and really try to determine our own point of view. Lathan says journalism is supposed to be factual and tell a real story. Creators tell you about their point of view. You go to them for them, not the facts. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. A lot of content creators are playing a character in a lot of instances. I don't think we'll get authenticity in what should be news. Yeah, and I think that's why the vetting is needed. But yeah, we'll see who ends up in those seats. Journalism should be to find answers to the questions that people have, to uncover and reveal truths that people in power seek to obscure. Most content creation is framed as just asking questions, which is not journalism. Journalism finds answers. Okay, so yeah, so this is kind of like asking content creators to be journalists and to go there and find the answers. We might have some people too who are past journalists, or maybe maybe that's one of the things they look for, have a degree in journalism, but now are an independent journalist. We're seeing this idea of citizen journalism. It's really interesting to watch. Shot at journalism, which many don't like, but I like the idea of putting news out in a way that is adapting with our times and to reach larger audiences. It's probably a good way to get younger people excited about what's happening in our country and wanting to vote. I like that. I like that, Brandon. It blurs the lines of influencers and press. Well, people get their news from many sources, that doesn't make their source a journalist. In my opinion, it's the difference between the Daily Show and someone like Mr. Beast. Okay, I like these examples. If customers ultimately decide a product or service's value, don't trends and how people consume news dictate what a journalist is and how content should be distributed? Or asking the real questions. I get my news from all sides to try and see what the narratives are, and then do my own fact checking. Yeah, this is kind of how I try to do things, but it's very hard. I'm overwhelmed. Trust in journalism is low, but I still trust a news reporter more than sassy pants doing a political TikTok. Yeah, and I think that's why they're vetting them. As long as the content creators do their due diligence. Yeah, I think it's kind of giving creators more freedom, and they're being taken more seriously. I think if we're seeing TikTokers as just like these silly creators, like, then we can't trust creators in general. I don't know. We got to see. Former media members. I think if you're already a political commentator, influencer, why not have them in the room? Has to be a mix of, yeah. And this is exactly what they were saying. So I don't know. I don't know if there's gonna be like random people there. Like, it has to be relevant. Rachel, simply put, journalism has a code of ethics and best practices. Content creation does not. Their duty is to their audience. Good journalism has a duty to the truth. Doesn't mean a content creator can't be valuable, but their values are different. Yeah. And again, I think content creators are going to do their thing anyway. And because they don't have because they're not true journalists, like maybe they miss some things that are fact checking, or maybe they color certain stories. So I think having them in the room, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, if you want to ask those questions and report them to your audience, I think this is interesting. Journalism is less filtered. Content creation has a more specific tilt than what might capture news in a more balanced way. All right. Thanks for all the discussion, guys. I agree. The onus on us to do further research, but the majority of people don't, which is why mis and disinformation are so easily spread. Yeah, and I think that's what they're trying to combat, is that younger people are going to these journalists and maybe they are spreading misinformation. So if you put them in the room, maybe the narrative, it'll be a shorter game of telephone, if you will. Yeah, really great discussion, guys. I am going to move on, but thank you so much for all of this thoughtful discussion here. Let's shift gears to the Super Bowl. Am I allowed to say the Super Bowl? The big game? I don't know. But we have David Beckham. That's all that matters. Super Bowl commercials and teasers are coming out. What do we think about this? Which ones have you seen? The first one I saw was for Hellman's with Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal. I think there's another one with Catherine O'Hara. Can't remember the brand. If anyone does, let me know. I hate to say it, but is there really a difference between content creation and journalism? Journalism is framed too, depending on the source. Ooh, they're appealing to an audience too. Yeah, are we essentially just changing where that media, where that point of view and where that person is speaking, whether they're sitting at a desk at a news station or they're reporting from their own TikTok? Does it really change? I think the layer of fact checking is the difference maker, but maybe we can do some of our own. We'll see. The Beckham teaser is great. The other David. I admit I didn't watch this full thing. Like I kind of saw it in the corner of my eye while I was making lunch. So he's sitting down with his parents, right? And there's an other David that they want to tell him about. I don't know. I have to watch it. So the question is, how does releasing a Super Bowl commercial before the game affect its impact? And that's what I think there's a difference here. Yeah, as Lathan says, the teasers are standard now. It used to all be kept under wraps, but I think only us ad nerds really care about them this much. That's true. I would have to agree. I've been on the inside of Super Bowl ad release strategy with a massive wireless provider for a decade. Always interesting discussing strategy. Do we go early? Do we preview? Do we premiere at the game? Question that, I guess, yeah, Kevin, take the reins, because that is a better question than this. What do we think? Go early, preview it, or wait for the game? Like, what is the best? Who could this other David be? I'm dying to know. David Hasselhoff, twin brother in the US. See, okay, we love a cliffhanger. Oh, congrats, Brandon, big Eagles fan. I have been avoiding all Super Bowl news, including commercials, as it's quite stressful in the Peterson household. Godspeed. Wishing you luck. Amar Polly, for me, it does not feel special. The surprise and immediate reaction is different than having a preview and teaser. Yeah, I like that. I mean, maybe that is an ad nerd thing, though. Like, we're the ones that really sit there and like want to see the new stuff and be fully surprised. I don't know. Teasers are supposed to convince you to watch, but we are already going to watch. So it's really just to show what celebs they could afford. I like that take. This was Kevin's experience. We generally found that people didn't like the pre-release because they wanted to be surprised, like Amar Polly said. But the ones we did pre-release tended to do better in the ad meter since people knew it and rallied people to watch during the game. Like to be surprised. Speaking of that, fun fact, I somehow avoided all of the Taylor Swift Eras Tour concert content until I saw the show live. I didn't want it. I wanted to be surprised, but it's hard to avoid sometimes. My wife doesn't understand football, but watches the game just for the commercials. If we can just watch them on YouTube, there's no reason to watch the silly football game that comes with the commercials. Yeah. Maybe. Premieres with follow-up commercials because I'm locked in and live posting on X for the ads. They just seem like spoilers. Interesting. All right, keep sharing this. Keep sharing your thoughts. We're going to do a little pivot here because it's Friday. Feel Good Friday. So share something good in addition to these really interesting perspectives. Let me know any good news, personal, professional. Share an accomplishment. Maybe you have a recommendation, a shout out you want to give. Let me know. And again, I think my comments here are still a little delayed. Rachel says, ads are the things I pay attention to. So I like a mix of surprise and teasers. I like a good teaser because I bookmark an ad in my brain if I think I'm going to like it and will pay extra attention. This is a good thought, Rachel. I love that kind of bookmark idea. This makes me think that now, if I'm at a Super Bowl party and people are talking whenever the next David Beckham installment comes up, I'm going to be like, shh, I need to see how this ends. This always happens to me. I go to Super Bowl parties and everyone's talking during the commercials, and I'm the ad nerd that's like, can we be quiet, please? I just want to watch these. Pre-releasing made it easier to get it into Roundup stories. Yeah, they're getting some pre-press. Black Friday. Yeah. Yeah. We're just working all the time, Jesse. 9th interview of 2025. Kevin, I want to say that's great. It is good to be having these interviews, but I know you'd rather not be interviewing, but I am wishing you luck. I think you have so much to offer as evidence in some of the thoughts you've shared here. Rapali started a new job and moved. Exciting. Tell us more. Rapali, in my mind, you always work for that wine company. Had 2 separate clients get press releases published in the county newspaper, same page, each with a half-page spread. We love traditional media, keeping it alive. Yay, Manisha. So happy you're able to join. Whoa, Chris, this is cool. Got to be in the Jaguars locker room and down on the field last night for an event to welcome the new head coach. This new job rules. Awesome. I'm fundraising for Special Olympics. Drop the link, please. Aw, feel great about being back doing Pop Chat. It's great to see you all. Kyle says, starting an internal media company for the health insurance company I work for. Massive unlock, hiring a full-time videographer and creating original content for health insurance that isn't boring. I'm going to give applause for that because the world has Thank you for helping the cause. Love this attitude. Still love wine, but don't look at me. Oh, sorry. I now work with a person who was my boss at the wine company. Oh, look at that. Okay, keeping it in the family. Awesome. My good news, I booked an Italy trip for this summer. We are going there for my brother's 40th birthday. We're bringing the baby, we're bringing all the kids, so wish us luck. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to Anthony. I don't think he's here, but he just reached 40,000 subscribers on YouTube. 40,000 subscribers for his channel, Make Weird Music. So if you guys want to be 40,002 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, go check him out, Make Weird Music. And what I love about him crossing this milestone is his transparency and honesty about how long it took. It took him 11 years to reach this milestone. And I think a lot of times in social, we think everything is about people having overnight successes and going viral and why not me? It's everyone else is winning and I'm not. But Anthony's one of the good ones and is being super honest about the consistency and the grind it took to get here. So we are celebrating him. Okay, keep sharing your good news. I will never tire of it. Benjamin, I'm still trying to determine if it's good or not, but I simply changed my title on my LinkedIn and resume. The agency I worked for updated their website. I'm now on the team page with this title, social media coordinator. So I've updated accordingly. The website looks really great too. That's good, Benjamin. I think you were asking about this. So I'm glad you circled back. Christian launches freelance business. McElwain, is that how you say it? I hope so. Ventures for strategies integrating SEO, social media, and AI. Look at you. You and Kyle should connect if you haven't yet. Kyle Rinker, he's into SEO. I'm on my third novel since the TikTok ban. Look at that, is so cool. You were just reaching for a book instead of TikTok. Teach me your ways. I am in a book club, you guys. I'm kind of regretting it. I'm not enjoying the book, and I think forcing people to read things, it's not working for me. I like to read independently. I don't know what that says about me. Anyway, yay, McElwain, got it. Yeah, drop your favorite book so far. Rachel hit the nail on the head. I missed it. The girls on the bus. If people truly won't engage with traditional media, it's not necessarily bad that they found an alternative voice to trust. But that voice may not always act in good faith, which could lead to misinformation. That is true. Although I think that can happen both traditionally and with content. Who knows? Everyone do your own due diligence. I also got rehired at Barnes & Noble, so I get to go back to slinging books, and I get that very cool. Jesse, I love this for you. That's so fun. We are getting a new Barnes & Noble in our area, so I'm excited about that. Is this my next slide? Industry news? All right, shifting gears. We are talking about this article that if Gibson is still here, everyone go follow Gibson. He shared this, and I thought this was the coolest thing, or an interesting article. I will share the link. It is talking about weepy influencers. Dropping it here. And people crying their hearts out online are selling intimacy, but it's the emptiest kind. What a hot take. It's saying that people who cry on the internet, we're trying to be vulnerable, but we are kind of exploiting that vulnerability. So are we only being vulnerable because it's a strategy to connect and to get followers and to do all the things? So I thought it was a really thought-provoking hot take. So the question is, how can influencers stay authentic if vulnerability is used as a growth strategy? We talk about vulnerability being such a good thing. Yay, Gibson, he's still here. So really curious about your thoughts here, Gibson. Yeah, so vulnerability is supposed to be a good thing. I don't know about crying. Maybe crying. I don't hate the crying thing that much. The thing with me with the crying thing is if you're telling a story and then you cry mid-sentence and you get emotional as you're telling a story, fine. But if you're actively crying and you grab your phone and then you film yourself, that seems a little weird to me. So how can influencers stay authentic if vulnerability is used as a growth strategy? Does this mean that authenticity is inauthentic? Like it's kind of like that idea that there's no selfless good deed. It's like there's no authentic post because we're all doing it with an end goal. Love all the book recs. Kyle says, yeah, I don't like performance vulnerability. And it makes me wonder, like, is it all performance? We might think it's not, but we're being vulnerable and then putting it on the internet. Putting it on the internet for people to follow and like and subscribe. I think the difference is if you're doing that in the spirit of potentially helping someone because your vulnerability will make someone else feel seen, maybe. Amar Polly says, remember to be you. People came to you because they felt some sort of authentic connection. When you start using strategies to gain more followers and lose yourself, it reads fake. I think you hit the nail on the head. I'm going to give you some sparkles for that, Amar Polly. Where are my sparkles? Everyone keep thinking, sharing. Oh, thank you for the... Sorry, guys. I wish this would just pause by itself. Okay. Just like going banner ad blind in the 2000s, I think content consumers can see through most of the inauthenticity. I truly hope so anyway. Anthony! We were just talking about you. I hope you saw that. Was your channel ringing? Were your ears ringing over there? Dakota says, you can be vulnerable without being performative with it. Ultimately, only you will be able to know if your emotional expression is authentic or not, but people shouldn't actively seek to mislead or manipulate their audience. I feel people have a good sense of when someone is acting vulnerable versus performatively so. I really like this distinction. I think if you feel authentic in it and you're not just saying, like, oh, let me grab my camera because this will help me get more followers, you're right. I think it's kind of like an internal thing that we have to decide. And if people misinterpret it, sorry, people are going to misconstrue your words and actions all the time in life. So people know the difference between real motivation and vulnerability in the search for clout. We know how to separate real tears from crocodile tears. Boom. Alan's here. Hello. Hi, Alan. Everyone say hello. We have a new friend. It's about the intention of why they film it. And a lot of the time, we won't know the truth. Yeah. And I think this piggybacks nicely off what Dakota says. It's like it's up to us. Only you will be able to know if it was real. And we just have to take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, crying and then deciding it's time to turn on the camera is a little weird to me. Yeah. Lathan says context always matters. Some people get choked up talking about certain things, but there is a line where it becomes for points. I feel like you shouldn't share that much online. More authenticity in person. I feel this too. I feel that shift. Oh, here it is. Here's Gibson's thoughts. Thank you for starting this conversation. I think it comes down to intention. If you are genuinely trying to form pro-social connections by being vulnerable, or even just to make others feel less alone, then that's great. But if you're trying to get more followers, that's going to feel false. I have to agree. Oh, Anthony missed his shout out. We're going to put it back on the slide for a second. We're just celebrating your crossover into 40,000 subscribers. And we've been sending some followers your way, I hope. Because we want you to get to 40,100 and 200 and all the things. But we just were applauding you not only for this accomplishment, but also for being real and saying that it took you 11 years and a lot of consistent growth and kind of pounding the pavement, I guess, and always showing up. You didn't make this seem like you were lucky and this just happened and you went viral, and we all can do it too. So thank you for being so refreshing. Yeah, I want to say this article was inspired by Selena Gomez. Gibson, I don't think the article said that, but the timing was interesting. Selena Gomez got a lot of hate for crying on Instagram about what's going on in the world. This might have been one case I can think of what to what Dakota just said. She doesn't need clout and was really sharing feelings that a ton of people are feeling. Yeah, she really doesn't need the clout. What is she, like one of the second most followed person on Instagram at this point? So yeah. But yeah, she did seem to be crying, grab her phone. To each their own, right? I'm not here to judge. You can point out if they've been doing it for clout or being genuine. It's a pattern. Yay, Anthony! We should know less about each other. Yeah, I know. So we'll see. I hope I never have to cry on the internet. I try to just limit my crying in this life. Hopefully not a lot of sad things are happening to any of us where we have to do that. We can just cope. But if that's what you need to do as an outlet, do you. Trustworthiness is so important to a brand. Sincerity is better aligned with trustworthiness than vulnerability. Vulnerability may be a result or symptom, but sincerity is the stronger value. Ooh, I like using this word instead. Sincerity. Yeah. Thank you, Chris. That's a really great thought. All right. Keep sharing your thoughts. Yeah. 11 years. So proud. Drop a link. Okay, next up. Where are my Peloton fans? Ban YouTube apologies. Oh, I just think of Jenna Marbles. That poor girl. She's gone. She's gone. She was so awesome. She was funny, and she's gone. Hey, Devin! Better on desktop. Yes. Join us on desktop. It's the best way to do it. Brian, yeah. I was happy to join your chat, only briefly. I wish I could have stayed longer. To defend, we still have thoughts on this. This is a good one. Hold on. Let's go back to crying. Emotion can be a strong motivator for taking action. For some, maybe they wouldn't be creating that content if they weren't having the strong emotional reaction. Bit of a chicken and egg situation. Yes. Danny, fun fact, I wanted to use the GIF of Leave Britney Alone during my Pop Chat preview graphics I created, but I realized that would be a GIF and then it wouldn't work because I had it in a carousel and I couldn't make like some of it a JPEG and some of it a GIF, but yes, same. I'm just sorry you got offended. Yeah, they do come off that way. Aw, ever since I had kids, I cry when I'm grateful and happy. I've cried on meetings, like my eyes just well up. I can't even help it. Good news makes me cry. Yes, I love that. I'm kind of like that in general. I've asked me how many times I've cried watching Dancing with the Stars because someone got eliminated and I loved them. And I was like, but he was trying so hard. And he, it's hard dancing on national television. I'm so proud of him. He shouldn't have gone home. Anyway, okay, back to this. I wish I could have read this article. It was behind a paywall. So forgive me for not having all the context. But this Fast Company article is saying that Peloton is becoming a social network and how they're doing it. So as the exercise platform grows beyond the bike, it's launching constructs of social networks to build community and keep you working out on the service. Another platform, right? So what are the pros and cons of a brand creating proprietary community spaces? So couldn't they just do this, and they already are doing this on Instagram? Couldn't they take some of that conversation offline and just use social? What are the pros and cons of this? I'm going to give you a second to think about this. As a Peloton user, I have thoughts though. This is pretty brilliant. I love Brienne's creating. I love Brienne. Oh, I love brands creating their own communities or networks. I think Spotify has a huge opportunity to become a social network for artists and fans. If anyone knows people at Spotify, let me know. I got ideas. Yeah. So I'm going to jump in on this and say the distinction for me is if users are already going to your app, you might as well keep them there. And that is the case for Spotify. We're opening an app for Spotify. We're opening an app for Peloton. But if you're a brand and you don't really have that behavior trained yet, I think it's really hard to lure them in and convince them that they should be there. But if they already are downloading an app, they already have a username, they need that to use the service, why not? People with like minds motivating each other from around the world. It's like people in the gym. Everyone has the goal of bettering themselves. I love that. And for me, I know we always talk about community at a gym. I worked at Orange Theory for years in corporate, and so many of our members would, connect with each other and have this great community. I am not that person. I haven't made a single friend at the gym. I don't think. I don't know what it is. I've taken Pilates and done classes and things for years. Sometimes I don't think it's me. Sometimes I think people just want to get in, get out. I tend to be a pretty chatty person. Dan, someone I do follow on Peloton, I think that is a great idea for Peloton to keep the conversations on the app. It makes it easier to form those bonds of friendship if you see people in a class and can connect with them there. That's a lot easier. Have you all made friends at the gym? Let me know. But yeah, Dan, I high five you all the time on the Peloton app. And sometimes I have a question or I want to say something more than just a high five. So yeah, I would be down. I'm not a fan of brands trying to be everything to everybody. Straying away from your core thing just waters everything else down. Hmm. I see what you mean, Jesse. Ordinarily, I would agree with this as like the idea of trying to do too many things, but I think a brand can claim that we're all in the business of community. Like we're all about humanizing our content, and it's not like they're introducing something completely off the wall, like, oh, Peloton suddenly wants to sell supplements. And I think that would water it down, but I kind of think this just adds I don't know, fuel to the fire of what they're already doing and just brings people closer. But I do see what you mean is like, speaking of fitness, here's a thought. If anyone follows the brand Zumba, they don't know what they're doing. And they haven't for a while, I don't think. I mean, I like the workout, but like they have supplements, they have merch, they have Zumba for this person and that. They had video games. I'm like, what is this company? What is it anymore? With everything going on at Meta, this makes total sense to me. Facebook groups are a huge part of why people still have the platform. If you can divest that from that as a business, you're going to do that. Ah, funny, Rachel. I am in a Peloton group on Facebook. And yeah, if I don't have to open Facebook to connect with those people, that seems better. Dakota says the internet has always been built off of niche communities. Having a dedicated audience in a shared space can be powerful for building a strong community. Yeah. Amrapali, it has already existed in their own way. We are all trying to find community, and we used to do it in person and then move to social. People look for exclusive spaces where they can interact with like-minded people. Use the space you create to foster connections and possibly comes to in-person connections too. Yep. So many great thoughts. Oh my goodness. I am reading them all. In response to the TikTok ban, it makes sense for a brand to establish their own space. Yeah, I think that's what's going on is everything feels just so volatile right now and fragile with social platforms. I know we talk about the rented land thing a lot, but it's just like there's too much going on. Might as well just, people are already logging in, so might as well have them connect here. Big pro is keeping people in your ecosystem and helps them talk about your brand and other spaces to come into the brand space. Yeah. They're already in the app. Maybe they'll start another workout, or, they're not going to get distracted by scrolling to something else. Proprietary community spaces are great because they bring together the true fans. Yes. I love that. A pro is that it helps build a stronger community where those people have their own space. A con could maybe be excluding people who don't have a Peloton specifically, but still interact with those in the space working to better themselves. It's a niche platform, which could, which does work wonders. Yeah, and I think maybe that's where social stays in play, is trying to bring in those people who are just kind of passively following and are in the consideration phase of the funnel, if you will. Keep them on social, and then once they're actually a customer, bring them over to your community. Beta testers and focus groups, win-win. Christian, thanks for joining. Also have an in-app social component is going to give you an unprecedented look at your core audience. Yeah. Research and development is going to get a lot cheaper. Yep. To piggyback. Yep. Amy's saying the same thing. Stick with it. Get your community engaged. It's valuable because you own that space. Yep. Debang. Encouraging for some people to be in those types of communities. Yeah. It's kind of an oxymoron, I think, like exclusive communities. But it's so true. Like we want that exclusivity and to bring people together. So building these exclusive communities is a great way to get insights from strong brand advocates and use it for marketing and advertising. Boom. Boom. Sparkles for everyone. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Great discussion as always. Lastly, I don't really have a question on this, but it's just something to discuss. Instagram is poaching TikTokers. Speaking of this volatility of platforms being all over the place, Meta is reportedly paying influencers big bucks to post on Reels before TikTok. I'm tired. And you know what? You know who gets this right? It's like YouTube has been there and is right there and does short form and does long form and does video, is primarily for video. They pay their create like for me, I think YouTube is the darling. Maybe if Anthony's still here, let me know. But it's like we're breaking our backs and doing all these things on Instagram and TikTok, and one's going away, and Meta did this and changed this. And it's like YouTube is over there being unproblematic. Yeah, YouTube is the long-term winner. It's working for Anthony. I feel like stick with YouTube. They've already figured this stuff out. Alan, I want to go back to the thought on Peloton. Back in the day, there used to be technology called forums. They were usually singular around the community niche subject where you could be with like-minded people. Social media diluted all of that. The nearest would be Facebook groups. Yeah. So it's like we're going back to the beginning. I kind of feel like it's similar to having so many streaming options that we're just going to go back to cable. Like, are we breaking things? Yay. Yay. This is not sponsored by YouTube, but you get paid the better you get. And that's the incentive, right? You should be getting paid for great content, not getting paid because they don't want you on TikTok. They want you on their platform. That's just my thoughts. I feel like this is all just going to burst at some point. YouTube is a partner. Social networks are rented land. This is wisdom. Take it from the guy with 40,000 subscribers, folks. Oh, speaking of this, I'll save this actually. I have a question. All right, wrapping up with some pop prep, things that are coming up. Coming up. February 2nd, this weekend is the Grammys. Next Sunday is the Super Bowl 59. Valentine's Day. And then also the SNL 50 homecoming concert where the Backstreet Boys are performing. Oh, and it's not their birthday. Sorry, I kept that in there. The NBA All-Star Game, the SNL Anniversary Special, all 3 hours. Just some fun things going on in pop culture in February. And of course, February is also Black History Month. So, of course, we want to celebrate that. But lots going on in pop culture and social and all the things. I will have to do a full debrief on Super Bowl commercials. Okay, time for helping hands. Share something you need help with right now. Put it out there. Manifest. If you're seeking a job, if you're hiring, if you just released a video and you want people to check it out, if you wrote something, anything. Dakota, Instagram has been doing everything except listening to the community who is begging, sobbing, pleading for a better recommendation algorithm. The feed feels broken and bad. That, along with Meta's public image as of late, has led to a lot of creators not wanting anything to do with anything Meta. Take it from Dakota, who is vlogging every day and doing things on all the places. So Dakota, does that mean you're pro YouTube in this situation? Influencers are smart. They'll take the payouts while they last, but when the payouts end, they'll go where the audiences are. I think that's a fair prediction. My helping hands. Someone on LinkedIn, Ashley, suggested that I stream Pop Chat on TikTok. Speaking of TikTok, while we're all leaving TikTok, I don't know how to do that. If someone knows how to do that, let me know. I think I can just go live like from my phone, but I would really love to stream my slides, and I don't think I can do that with my platform here. So if anyone has thoughts on that or recommendations, I would really appreciate it. Kyle is looking for guests for Break the Brand. You've got a lot of smart people here. Anyone who is breaking the rules of marketing has hot takes. We want your stories and insights. We love to see it. Oh, and thank you for donating. That is awesome. I love you all. This is so kind. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Fundraising link. Thank you for donating. That is really sweet. And Jesse, thank you for leading this fundraiser. Amrapali needs furniture. Looking for a coffee table, media console, and bar cart and cabinet. But wait, so Amrapali, you're still in LA? Book Rex. keep me honest on my 2025 reading goal. Oh, I need to follow you on Goodreads, Chris. I'll send you some book recs. Looking for a new role. I reposted about an hour ago. Attentive is hiring a senior social media specialist, and it is remote. So go check that out. 52 books. Wow, a book a week? Let's go. Okay. Dakota's wrapping up his thoughts on YouTube. YouTube has a long way to grow, but still out of the major platforms, it's integrating short format vertical video in the best way. It doesn't feel like a TikTok clone, but authentic to the platform. Instagram feels like they're copying TikTok's homework. Yeah, I have to agree. Alan is looking for some social media and content creation companies to beta test out some new software in February. Ooh, so like agencies, Alan? You're looking for agencies to help you? Or individual creators? Let us know. A lot of you have started your own businesses and stuff. I am so proud of you. All right, so if anyone has thoughts on the TikTok thing for me, let me know. My other helping hand is if you're having fun at Pop Chat, please spread the word. It's always appreciated. Invite some friends next week and subscribe to the newsletter, briannefleming.com/newsletter. I've been having really a lot of fun returning to the newsletter, and I hope if you're a subscriber that you're enjoying it. Yay. And a little bonus question as we wrap up. Agencies or freelancers? We should be able to find some of those here. Everyone connect with Alan. But just for fun, as we wrap up, what are your weekend plans? I want to know. I am going to the west coast of Florida. Michelle, Dan, all of you over there. I would love to see you. I wonder if we'll have time. Probably not. I always have like a crazy itinerary, but we are seeing my daughter's grandma and her great grandma, and it's going to be a quick trip, but thank you. Going to Wine Classic. Ooh, at your alma mater. That's really fun. Awesome. Well, keep sharing your plans in the chat and stuff. But again, thank you all so much for joining, and I will see you next time. I'm going to leave this up. We'll keep chatting a bit, but thank you all. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Thanks for all of your insights and thoughts today, and I'm sending all of you love. And go hockey. Danny, did you go to the Bruins game? I can't remember the date you told me. Watching the Grammys, applying for more jobs. It's a grind. Wishing all of you luck. If I can help in any way, let me know. Oh, first dance competition. That's so fun. Outdoor bike ride planned. Sounds glorious. Peloton too. Bringing 2 foster kittens to... You all are so pure and amazing. I adore all of you. All right. Have fun at the Bruins game. We'll debrief. Well, I guess we won't have Super Bowl commercials next Friday, but the Pop Chat after that, we're going to have a lot to talk about. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.